Something almost every human uses each day has an effect on everyone, whether it's injuries or just truly impacts you from trauma. This one thing is a car. People all over the world use this every day, and it can impact you in either a good way or a bad way. But I believe that the negative effects on cars vastly outweigh the positives. You may love the way the car looks, or adding on features like a loud tailpipe or just cool colors to your car, but do you know the true impacts it has on people? In this speech, I will persuade you on why cars should not be a thing. I'll persuade you by talking to you about the number of deaths that occur from it, the dangers of being on the road, and the environmental impact, and lastly, the anxiety that people get from being or driving in a car. In the form I sent out to you, I asked you if you guys think cars are a good thing. About 80% of you guys said that they are a good thing. I'm about to explain to you the horrible numbers of how many people die from something that's so-called good. Quote, there were 35,766 fatal motor vehicle crashes in the United States in 2020, in which 38,824 deaths occurred. This came from Fatality Facts state by state. This was in 2020, which nobody was really out on the roads to begin with, so even 40,000 people dying in just the United States from this is just crazy to think, because if like a year like today when we're all on the roads, more people are getting in crashes, especially with the winter coming up. Life's a very valuable thing, and it's crazy just to think about how many people do die from vehicles. Next, quote, there were 5,669 alcohol-related motor vehicles crashes in China, resulting in 2,384 deaths and 5,616 injuries in 2014. This was from the author Wang. This isn't even the full number of deaths because it has to do with alcohol-related injuries and deaths, of course, but I'll tell you later on that it's only about 26% of all people that die from crashes from alcohol-related stuff. Last, I'll talk about Poland. Quote, from 2013 to 2022, there were 255,710 accidents, 23,616 people were killed, 305,913 people were injured, and 3,183,241 collisions occurred. The year 2013 also had the highest number of people killed, with 3,357, and the fewest people lost their lives in 2017. This was 2,831. This was from Gorzlini, page 18. Only the low number saying that it's about 3,000, that's insane to think about 3,000 people losing their lives, and that's not even the whole part of the world. I just picked 3 of the articles that I found were China, Poland, and the United States, and so I thought I'd talk broadly about over the whole world, but quote, road traffic fatalities accounted for more than 1/3 of the country's unnatural causes of deaths in 2013, and this is from Esther, page 160. That quote alone just shows the impact that it truly has on everyone. Now that I've shown you the number of deaths from accidents caused, I will tell you the dangers of being on the road. In my audience analysis, I asked the question, do you feel safe in your car? There were mixed answers from yes, but only in town, to no, especially in bad weather. It's easy to understand both of these because I feel the same way. But I'm going to explain to you some of the dangers of being on the road. There are many obvious dangers like an animal, the weather, or some of you guys might not truly think this, but the biggest danger is other people in cars. Many accidents do happen from hitting deer or any animal, but an overwhelming amount comes from other people's mistakes. Quote, according to the National Safety Council, cell phone use was involved in 26% of all motor vehicle crashes in 2014. This came from Hirsch, page 279. Sadly, many people impacted by others' actions, an accident, and even death. Quote, Wilson and Stimpson estimate that individuals who text while driving are 23 times more likely to have an accident than non-distracted driver. This came also from Hirsch, page 279. But phones are not the only distraction that cause accidents. Quote, in 2014, 9,967 people were killed due to alcohol-impaired driving in America, and total costs were estimated to be $44 billion. This came from Wang. Imagine how many people got injured just alone. Like, you could even get broken arm or concussions, just effects that physically still have, you don't have to die to have effects still, and trauma from being in a car crash. Now that you know the dangers, I'll tell you about the impacts it has on the environment. Quote, automobiles create about 33% of all U.S. air pollutions in form of carbon dioxide, smog, and several other toxic chemicals and gases. This came from the effects of automobiles and the environment. It's insane to think about how many cars are driving each day, and like from tailpipes, all the chemicals you see coming out, even just starting your car, and you don't even have to be driving it in order to still have this coming into the air. Quote, these air pollutions are released from tailpipes, which means that humans immediately breathe in contaminated air, now compromising human health, making it more crucial issue to address. This came also from the article titled The Effects of Automobiles on the Environment. There is a lot of pollution all over the world, and cars just add to the toxic environment and the air. You already hear about the effects that we have on the environment, and like companies, you can see the gases. So just having millions of cars around the world each day just adds more to the bad air. Next, I'll address the anxiety people get from being or driving a car. Everyone has their own opinion, obviously, on their thoughts if cars are good or bad, but you might not realize the effects that people around you do have from being in a car. Research shows that many people do get anxiety from just driving the car. Quote, about 66% of Americans experience driving anxiety, with 55% reporting they feel it while performing common driving maneuvers. These are some of the common things that people get anxiety from. I've experienced anxiety. You probably had to from being in a car, even backing up in the school parking lot. Some days if I see Cameron, my friend, I'm like, can you see if a car is behind me so I can just have a straight backup? But quote, more than 3 in 5 Americans have had a traumatic driving experience, with 25 to 33% developing PTSD after. And this came from Meyer. It's sad to think about people getting anxiety from just driving to school or something, because we all have anxiety from tests or quizzes, so it just kind of adds on to the problem. And you might not realize this obviously yourself, but people around you said about 66% of Americans do have anxiety. In my persuasive speech, I explained to you why cars are bad by telling you the impacts it has all over the world. Cars take many people's lives. It causes anxiety, it impacts the environment greatly, and being on the road is just overall very dangerous. With that being said, I hope that your mind is a little changed, even if you think that cars look cool, but I hope that you realize the true impact it does have on the world. These are my works cited, and thank you for listening.